What's up guys, we're gonna pretend my lips don't look a really big mess right now. I tried out like a blue lipstick, but it was really splotchy, and then it stained my lips, and then tried to cover it up. So you can kind of tell that there's like a hinge of like blue under there. So we're gonna ignore that. We're back for a favorites video, and I just have a couple of items here. I had a lot of items that I actually honestly didn't think I would like that much, or I even didn't realize that they were becoming my favorites. Like it just kind of they just slid on in and were like, hey, you really like us. And I was like, hey, I do really like you. The first one I've been using for a while now, and it's the Tarte Hamptons Weekender palette. I honestly didn't even like it at first. I wanted to return it, but then after using it for I think like 3 months now, I realized that I've used this so often, and mainly I use it for the bronzing shade because it's just not like too warm toned, so it really works better for me, or I feel like it works better for me. It doesn't make me look so like muddy-ish. The blush in here and the highlight in here I don't like as much. They're not my favorites. Specifically this contour is my favorite. The blush is way too pigmented, like way too pigmented. I just look kind of like I got hit. And then the highlighter is a touch glittery. I will still use the highlighter, but it's just a touch glittery. I'm actually gonna just go in with it today. I'm actually going to use it with another one of my favorite products. This is the Real Techniques setting brush, and I just use this for my highlight, but I can also use it for my to set my under eyes, and I just think that's so awesome. It's just like the perfect size, and because it's like synthetic brush, I feel like it really picks up like shimmers and highlights really well. You can't really tell on camera, but it is a little bit glittery. I feel like I've been kind of growing on it though. It seems like I'm not really caring about the glitter anymore. So I do use the highlight in that. Occasionally I'll dip into the blush, but really Farmer's Market in here is just my favorite thing ever. Okay, so we touched on that, and then the setting brush again was one of my favorites. It's like $7, but I got it at Target for like half off or less than half off, because online it said it was on sale, but in stores it didn't. So I just asked the guy, and by the guy I mean like the worker, not like the guy, you know. That'd be cool though, right? If you just like had a sale and you were like, yo guy, this thing's on sale, get it for me. Next thing here, I had higher hopes for these items, and I thought they let me down, but in reality I've been using them almost every single day. So really, did they let me down? The first one was the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer. It's supposed to be a full coverage concealer. I had really high expectations for this. I thought this was going to be like my Catrice, a liquid camouflage one, which is amazing by the way. This one's a little bit creamier, and I don't mind creamier consistencies. Like I love the Bye Bye Under Eye from IT Cosmetics and the Maybelline Fit Me concealer, and those are very creamy, especially the Bye Bye Under Eye. It's extremely tacky. So it's not that I mind the creaminess, it was just, it didn't settle under my eyes nicely. I feel like it creased more so than the other ones, and it just wasn't too much of a favorite. I feel like it matches my skin tone the best though, so whenever I need to conceal like a blemish, or even like on days where I don't want my makeup to look as glam, I'll actually go under the under eyes, even though I don't like it there. I'm saying all these things I don't like about it, but I do really like it. I've been using it to carve out my eyebrows, and I think it's because it's like a more full coverage, just a little bit creamy, not too creamy kind of formula, that it works really well under the eyes. I used to really like the Maybelline Master Conceal, is that what it was called, for my eyebrows, like to carve them out, but then I figured I wanted to try a new one, so I stopped buying that one, and I found this, and it works well. Also, I really like this to prime the eyelids. I mainly started doing that because it wasn't working for my under eyes, so I tried to find a better way to use it, and now I use it every day to prime my under eyes. I'll put this on, and then I'll actually use the next product to set it. The next product I actually use in conjunction with that when I set my eyes, after I use that to prime it, is the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder. I have it in the shade 10, which is Fair Light, and I thought I was going to like this a lot better. I do like it, I do like it, but I thought that I was going to be like, the first time I used it would be like out of this world. It was really good. Like, it's very finely milled and it's great, and it's got a little bit of tinted color, so it does have a lot of good coverage to set something, and that's the reason I like to use it with the concealer after I prime it, my eyelids, and then I'll just go in with like my e.l.f. Highlighting brush, and it kind of just like fits on my eye like in one swoop, and then it kind of just sets it. I also like that powder all over the face, but specifically on days where I need a little bit more coverage, or a little bit more, yeah, more coverage, and then I'll use the Coty Airspun if I need a little bit more brightness. Specifically every day I've been using it for my eyelids to set them. I have two items here that are going to be not the biggest surprise. I've just been talking about them all the time, so I'm gonna leave those for last. We're gonna go into two products that I don't really talk about. I think I've only used them in one video too. They are Korean products. Yes, they're both Korean. This is and they're both for contouring. This is the Miracle Fit Contour Stick, and I have no idea what shade I have it in. It's from Secret Key, and it looks like this. When you look at it, you're like, is that a contouring stick? Because that's so light. But yeah, that's the point. I wanted like a really light, cool toned contour stick so I could really contour like my nose lightly. I don't really like a deep contour or too noticeable nose contour, and also I can use it like all over the face, like kind of like circle around, or like even down here, because normally when you take like a warmer contour and you bring it down here, your face looks really like pulled down kind of. But like with something so light like this and something more cool tone like this with a paler complexion, it's kind of going to, it's not going to drag you down, but it's kind of still going to give you a little bit of sculpt. If you did that with a warmer contour, it's going to drag you down. That's just what happens. So when I bought that, I was also looking for a cooler powder. Even though the Tarte Weekender one is pretty cool, it still has a little bit of warmth to it. So I picked up the Too Cool for School art class contour thing here, and it looks like this. Obviously this one's super light, so obviously, of course, I use this shade for my nose, and then I use all the shades for kind of like the outer areas of the face if I go that far, and then I'll use the two deepest shades to just add a little bit of contour to the face. And because it's just cool toned again, it just looks a little bit better with paler complexion, and it doesn't make me look as muddy or like, for lack of better words, smacked in the face kind of a look. And I really like those two. This one, I feel like the powder's a little bit difficult to pick up. I feel like it's just pressed in there so tight. It's just a little bit, it's not powdery, it's just a little bit difficult to pick it up, but it's still really good, and you do see the pigment come up. And plus I bought it because I didn't want too much pigment. The next thing in here is a makeup sponge, and I love makeup sponges, and I thought I found my favorite one when I found the Eco Tools one, but that thing is so fragile. Like, I washed it like 2 times and it's a wreck. But this one I found, and I think it's so great. The texture of it's great. The way it applies makeup's great. The shape of it, I really, really like. I feel like I can find uses even for things that weren't meant to be used. I found a use for, and it's got actual, like, it's dirty, but it's actually like, it holds its own. I feel like I wash it and it doesn't fall apart or melt on me. This is the Morphe sponge. I think it's like the contour sponge. I think they have one that's more like, this is also dirty, shaped like this, but this one is the one with the 2 slants on it. And I feel like that's what makes me like it a lot. I feel like, I think I mentioned this in the haul video. If you didn't see that, it's up there. It's got the shape of 2 of my favorite sponges, which is the Eco Tools one and the Real Techniques one. So it has like, there's dog hair on this. It has like the butt of the Real Technique, and then it has the 2 slants on it, which I think are great. And that's like my favorite parts of these 2 sponges, and it had a baby. And these 2 are very fragile. This one is not. I had mentioned I found a use for this where I think it's not even meant to be used like this, but I found a way I really like to use it. So I feel like when you go in for your under eye, right, for the concealer, to blend out that concealer, you go in, I need a mirror before I start my eye. you go in like this, right? But then look, you never get this inner corner. And I always do like my lower lash line, not always, but for the most part last. And you never get this inner corner. So the way I've been doing it is, instead of using it like this, I'll actually flip it over and kind of use this like pointed triangle part and kind of just go in just like that. And you just get everything. It's so amazing and it holds its own. The texture of it's great. It does expand. It's awesome. Awesome. Hey, the last two in here are me preaching to the choir, just telling you how much I like these products. These products I've been using for months and months, and I think it's just like recurring. It lives in my favorites videos. This one, first of all, is the ColourPop You Had Me at Hello palette. I feel like I was finally starting to trail off of this palette and stop using it as often as I do, but no, this entire week, literally for 7 days straight, I've just picked it up and I was just like, wow, I still use this thing a lot. It's real dirty. I feel like I've kind of like been, dipping into all of the colors a little bit more differently and using them a little bit more differently, and I just really still like this palette so much. And the last thing in here, it is a lip product. Are you surprised it's not the Essell lip gloss? Lipstick. Yes, I still love that one, but I feel like I've been using the Ofra one way more recently, or always using them in conjunction. And this is the shade Verona. This is in the old packaging. I got it in my BOXYCHARM? Probably my BOXYCHARM. I have it on my lips with the Essell liquid lip. I guess it does make it in here anyway. So, and then also that like really bad blue one. So can you tell it's like kind of purpley? So those were the products that I have been loving and have been using basically every single day, or I've been using way too often in the month of July and June technically. But yeah, I really like those products and I hope you enjoyed watching. If you want to check out more of my videos, it'll be on the screen. Subscribe will be on the screen, and I will see you next time.